coming right at you.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to High Top Baseball. Guys, we have a big episode for you today. We are officially less than 2 weeks away from this season kicking off. We're going to break down Intrasquad Scrimmage number 7 from over the weekend on Saturday. We're going to go through our horses. We're going to talk pitching staff top to bottom, starters, relievers, closers, what some people are saying could be the best 1-2 punch in all of college baseball. So we're going to dive into the pitchers. Then at the end of this, we're going to officially launch the home run prediction contest where everyone's going to get to pick a player and a number, kind of follow the home runs throughout the season, something we're going to get to track. We're going to talk about here on the page, so stick around for that. All right, so before we dive into Intrasquad Scrimmage number 7, a little note here on a projected starting second baseman and a big leadership piece on this team, Cade Curlin, who's been dealing with apparently a quad injury. I know we had talked oblique a little bit last week, so some question marks on what he is dealing with. It's not his shoulder, though, which is good news. He's doing some sprints in the outfield with the team trainer, not in the lineup of the inner squad, but encouraging signs, hoping we can get Cade back out there ready to go for opening day. So Josh Rittenauer got the start for Team Orange. Little interesting piece here for inner squads, right? So Josh Rittenauer, the one that's dealing with Tommy John last year, very talented kid, topping up at 98. Expecting him to be a big piece out of the bullpen, maybe even our closer to start the season. Coaching staff went ahead and started the Orange team with a 1-0 lead to kind of give him a simulated closing experience. Josh unfortunately walked the lead off. Ended up having Yosti bring in Nato with an RBI single. Rittenauer gave up 2 in the first, so not the most polished start, but again, right, and we can call it excuses if we want, but bats are going to be ready, arms are still going to be getting up to speed, so no huge issues there for me personally. On the mound on the other side, we had the big 6'4" righty Ricky Reith, the Notre Dame transfer. Apparently looked really good through 2 shutout innings. And then Josh bouncing back with a scoreless second. So good to see those out of our 2 starters on Saturday. And then, the red-hot freshman, Jacob Kendall. The last video last week, I had penciled him in as my starting left fielder. I was on the fence about it. And the only reason I was on the fence about it was the freshman tag, right? I'm sure Sully's going to want to start someone with a little bit of experience, but in my opinion, and I saw Gator Diamond Pod say it as well, I don't see how you keep the kid out of the lineup. He is absolutely red hot to start spring. I think you have to go ahead and pencil him in there and see if he can keep it going. Really excited to watch this lefty continue his career. 3 hits, 2 walks, 4 runs, only 2 earned. Blue team with the win, 6-1. All right, now let's transition and start our roster deep dive, right? Today we're going to talk the horses. We're going to talk pitching. We're going to break it up into starters, weekend starters, and then what we'll call bullpen or weekday starters. And the starting pitching in Gainesville is absolutely elite, led by the 1-2 punch, the Friday-Saturday starters, and Liam Peterson and Aiden King. If these 2 guys can pitch to their ceiling or even close to it, this is going to be the best 1-2 punch in all of college baseball, like I mentioned earlier. The Sunday starter's still up for grabs. I think even the first couple weeks or months of the season, we're going to see that kind of start to play itself out. But the top of this staff is Liam Peterson. Liam, most MLB mock drafts have as a top 10, 15 player in this upcoming MLB draft. Pretty locked in to be a first rounder, right? A good year this year can climb him up even into the maybe top 5. He appeared in 16 games last year, starting in 15 of them. He went 8-4 with a 4.28 ERA. We'd like to see that ERA come down a little bit this year, right? 96 to 32 strikeout to walk ratio, that's solid. And a 250 opponent batting average, that's good. It's above average. Across 69 innings, the 6'5" right-hander, right? The kid has all the intangibles you need to be an elite pitcher in the MLB. Delivered a 12.5 strikeout per 9 innings, which is really good. And ranked 5th in the SEC, which is the 3rd highest in program history. What Liam would say, he took a step last year. I think even he would admit he probably wanted a little bit more out of himself. But after a hit and miss freshman year, he definitely took a step in the right direction last year. And I think we're all, in all of college baseball, are expecting Liam to take a big jump this year. The current Saturday number 2 projected starter, Aiden King, D1 Baseball has as a top 4 prospect in next year's 2027 draft. This kid came out and lit it up last year as a freshman. He was the very, very positive bright spot of last season. He had a sub-3 ERA, which was the lowest by a Gator starting pitcher since Brady Singer posted a 2.55 back in 2018. The lowest by a freshman since Logan Shore's 2.29 in 2014. So Aiden had an incredible freshman year last year. We're expecting to see him kind of build on that and keep that success going. But he got the 2025 unanimous first team freshman All-American. In 2025, ABCA's second team Southeast All-Region, and 2025 SEC All-Freshman team. So this kid got a ton of honors last year for an incredible freshman year. We're really excited to watch him take that next step. Liam and Aiden, put it on your calendars. Friday, Saturday nights. These are absolute horses. We're expecting these kids to come out and absolutely shove. It's going to be fun to watch this spring. Now, the Sunday starter is where it gets a little tricky. Liam and Aiden secured up there at the 1-2 spots. For Sunday, and like I said earlier, right, we're going to see this play out. It's not going to be decided on game one. It's probably not even going to be decided in the first month of the season. We're going to kind of see this play out. We're going to see solely trust who's throwing well. Guys in play, right? Cooper Walls, the Hawaii transfer. Russell Sandifer, the UCF transfer. I expect Luke McNeely to be in this mix, maybe even start as our Sunday starter for the opening weekend. If we get Fridays and Saturdays out of Liam and Aiden like we expect, right, these Sundays could become bullpen games where your starter only throws a couple innings and you kind of unload the bullpen on Sundays, trying to mix up looks, keep the hitters guessing, and just kind of put together a win on Sundays. Any good head coach is going to want a lefty in his starting rotations, right, which is something we're going to have to watch play out over the course of the year. Ernesto Lugo Quinchola, the transfer that just came in, is going to be a big piece in that, right? He even could become a starter just because he's throwing from the left side. B. Miller, who we saw a little bit last year, and then the freshman Rivers Kurland. So seeing maybe if a lefty can come into mix on this Sunday starter is going to be interesting to watch. So that's our weekend starters. Jump into the weekday starters. Expecting probably a Billy Barlow, a Sanford, who like Rittenauer is coming off an injury last year, so expect to see him getting ramped up. Maybe a Matthew Jenkins, right? Maybe a Ricky Reith, unless we're saving him to come out of the bullpen over the weekend. So expect those weekday starters to probably look like Barlow, Sanford, and Jenkins to start the year. So a couple more highlights from the bullpen, right? Florida brings in 4 true freshmen. We get redshirt freshman Sanford and Rittenauer back from injuries, like I had just mentioned. All 4 of our true freshmen, Curlin, Moss, Blair, and Hoyt, showed good glimpses this fall. I think these freshmen are coming in ready now more than ever from high school, ready to throw. And there's spots on this bullpen. There's spots in these reliever positions for these kids to step up and kind of make a name for themselves, carve out a role for themselves. So if we can see them fill up the zone, we can see them throw strikes, maybe earn a little bit of Sully's trust, we might see these guys really start to make a name for themselves. And then another big name to talk about, to watch this spring is Josh Rittenauer. I know we've talked about him, right? Coming off of injuries, kid throws cheese, high 98, good slider sitting low 90s. Through the first 2 weeks of fall ball, right? Went on a streak, retiring 18 consecutive hitters. Made 2 appearances against Jacksonville, Georgia Southern, both kind of as a closer. Through a combined 2 shutout innings, 1 hit, struck out 2. I think this is the kid we could see if he comes out ready to go. We could see a very quick rise in him, potentially carving out and establishing himself as our starting closer. And another quick shout out to Hunter DeLauder. I know Gator Diamond Pod had a much deserved off day on Saturday, so we got some of our inputs from the Intrasquad Scrimmage number 7 from Hunter. And then this is his 247 article he wrote regarding the starting and the bullpen pitchers. So this is a good little graphic just to kind of give you an idea on what we can expect out of the bullpen. Right, so we have closer, high leverage relievers. These are guys you expect to see in conference games, close games, ready to come in and shut the door. Rittenauer, McNeely, assuming he's not your Sunday starter. Then Christian Rodriguez, who threw pretty good last year, and I think we're expecting him to take a big step up. Could be a very important piece out of the bullpen this year. Those middle inning relievers, like we had talked about, right, with Reith, with a Caden McDonald, who's our Shohei, if Gator fans will prefer to call it the Caglione, right? He's a potentially starting first baseman, but I also expect him to see him on the mound this year a lot. Great pitcher. Jackson Barberry, the sophomore, who pitched pretty well last year as a freshman. He was my prediction to be the starting closer to start the year, unless Rittenauer's been showing stuff in practice that has earned him that role. I think Barberry is probably going to be our starting closer to start that opening weekend series against UAB. You have your hybrid starters, right? These are your weekday starters, Barlow, Sanford, and Jenkins. We've already talked about the lefty specialists. And then the midweek relievers, Cooper Moss, Jackson Hoyt, and Eli Blair. All right, so I think that pretty much covers pitching. I know I didn't talk about everybody. As the year goes on, if names pop up that we haven't talked about, right, we'll definitely be covering it. We'll be talking about it. We'll be following that Sunday starter position. We'll be following the closer position. We'll be following those first arms out of the bullpen on the weekend games. So just a fun staff to watch. I think it's really talented, really deep. It's the same phrase I've been using across the board for this team, but the top of this, right, the top heaviness of Liam and Aiden, right, they're absolute studs. I expect them to come out and absolutely deal this year, which is going to be fun to watch. And then finally, our home run prediction contest. So if you're following along on Twitter, I'm going to make a post here right as I launch this video. If you're not on Twitter, I'm going to make sure I include the Google Drive link in the show notes of this YouTube video. I've put together a Google Drive. It's going to be a list of all the names of all the hitters. Across the top is going to be the total home runs. This is going to be regular season and postseason included, so every baseball game this team plays this spring into summer. Whichever player leads the team with home runs and whoever can predict the player and the number, at the end of the year, I'm going to send a 2017 replica national championship ring. Just a fun thing we're going to get to watch, right? Everyone loves the long ball. Chicks dig the long ball. Home runs put people in the seats, man. Fun to watch. So make sure you go over there, click the link, get your predictions in. We're going to follow that throughout the year. Predictions will close probably the Friday before the game start. We're definitely not going to let any predictions happen after the season starts. So make sure you get over there and check that out. And as always, guys, I just appreciate you guys for watching, man. I think we're over 260 subscribers already, man. Shout out to High Top Sports fans. You guys are the absolute best. It's the reason I wanted to join the High Top crew, right? Because this is just a good crew over here. Really, really fun to listen to them talk sports. I'm really excited to get to kind of bring these fans into the baseball realm. Go ahead and like this video. Make sure you comment what you're thinking of on this upcoming season, what you think of this pitching rotation, who you're most excited to maybe watch. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe over the main High Top Sports channel. As always, guys, God bless and go Gators.